Oh, hey everybody, I'm Michael. I'm switching careers into AI programming, and this is Weekly Update, where we pretend that you are my manager and this is our one-on-one. This is week one, so without further ado, let's get into it. All right, what do we got? What am I working on this week? Working on an app for my phone. So this week I'm going to be adding features to the app and working on the UI. I'm also going to be getting back into mapping AI broadly because that's been on pause for 2 weeks. What I need help with, commenting in code. If anybody has examples of like great commenting that's not too verbose, I'd really appreciate it. What I did this last week. So last week was starting off the Android app. So I set up the dev environment in VS Code. I got the basic app running on my phone. And broadly, with the workflow that looked like was asking ChatGPT something, pasting the code into the IDE, and then taking the error codes and pasting that back into ChatGPT, which wasn't so fun. I spent the last couple days going back over all the code, asking Chat, okay, what does this code chunk actually mean? What files are doing what? So what is parked? I'm not going to be doing any reach outs this week. First, I want to get back into the AI map and find some interest areas before I start messaging people. What is completed? Nothing at this point. Other things to flag. In 2 weeks, I'm heading to Toronto/Winnipeg. I'll be there for 3 weeks. I'll still be working on the projects, but I'm expecting some disruption. Something fun from this week. I really had a lot of fun coming up with analogies for how different parts of the code was working or how the different files related to each other. I saw making the app kind of like a toy maker's shop. The app is the toy. Let's say it's like a knight's costume. The main activity file is like the blueprint, and then the build Gradle file is like the toy maker. The settings Gradle file, I thought of like the project manager. It's the file that tells the toy maker the specs of the particular toy that needs to be made, what modules it has to include. The Gradle properties file, I was like, what the heck is this doing? And it seems like it kind of works like the senior toy maker on the team. They're more giving the build Gradle file guidance on the best practices in building things. And then the last file was the Android manifest file. And that's the one that cares about how this app actually interacts with the Android system. So I thought of it kind of like the parent of the kid that has this knight costume. And they're deciding for that kid how the toy can or can't be played with. Like at home, it's fine if you wear the full costume, but at school, you're not allowed to take the sword part of the toy there. Point is, a lot of fun to come up with the analogies. I understand better what's happening. What I liked about the work, it was really satisfying to make something concrete on my phone. What I struggled with, it was tough for me to just copy and paste the code from ChatGPT into the IDE and that whole back and forth, because I was keenly aware that I didn't have a clue what was happening. I like to have a thorough understanding of whatever I'm doing. I think this was actually good for me because it had me sacrifice a bit of understanding for a lot more speed. Something I used to think but now understand better. I used to think that for this project, I could have one chat with ChatGPT. And what I found was that chat was getting way too long and I was spending a lot of time scrolling up to find a section I needed. So then I tried to split it up into multiple chats. But then I started forgetting which chat response was in which chat. The thing I used to think was that that wouldn't be a problem. And what I now understand better is that is definitely going to be part of my learning curve. And that's it. Okay, so to sign off this week, I want to thank a course mate of mine. Last Saturday, I organized the first meetup for people going into this data science masters. Only 2 of us showed up. So I want to thank that person not only because they showed up, but because they brought a board game. And that made it very easy to pass the time and very fun.